For most human beings, the hatred of a massive crowd is enough to trigger a total psychological collapse. Our brains are hardwired for social acceptance. It is a deeply ingrained evolutionary survival trait. When a crowd turns against you, your central nervous system interprets that rejection as a literal physical threat. Your heart rate spikes, your vision narrows, adrenaline floods your system, and you inevitably choke. But Novak Djokovic is not wired like most human beings. Where other athletes crumble under hostility, Djokovic does something terrifying. He eats it. He digests it. And then he uses it to completely destroy his opponents. Today, we are going deep into the dark psychology of tennis to analyze the villain effect and how the greatest player in history learned to weaponize the hatred of the crowd. The first true manifestation of this mental fortress was the 2015 US Open final. Djokovic was playing Roger Federer in New York. There were 23,000 people inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, and 22,000 of them desperately wanted Djokovic to lose. They cheered his double faults. They screamed during his serve. It was a suffocating wall of pure hostility. Yet, Djokovic played like an absolute machine, quietly dismantling Federer in 4 sets. When asked how he survived, he revealed a glimpse into his mental operating system. 4 years later, the ultimate case study in this psychological anomaly happened. The 2019 Wimbledon final. Djokovic was once again facing Federer, the undisputed golden boy of tennis. The center court crowd was aggressively rooting for Djokovic to fail. Every mistake he made was met with roaring applause. Down double match point in the 5th set, the stadium erupted into deafening chants of "Let's go, Roger! Let's go!" Djokovic didn't flinch. He saved both match points, broke back, and went on to win the longest final in Wimbledon history. How did he survive that psychological pressure cooker? He used a technique known as cognitive reframing. After the match, Djokovic revealed his secret. He told reporters, "When the crowd is chanting, 'Roger,' I hear Novak. It sounds silly, but it is like that. I try to convince myself, this isn't just a clever quote. It is elite neurological hacking. Instead of fighting the noise and wasting mental energy being angry, he hijacked the crowd's energy. He consciously rewired his brain to interpret the acoustic trigger of his opponent's name as a cheer for himself. He took the psychological poison the crowd was throwing at him, and he turned it into high-octane fuel. If they were going to scream, he was going to make sure that noise powered his engine." But how exactly does someone build a mind capable of this? It is not a magical genetic trait. Djokovic actually admits to feeling intense fear, anxiety, and self-doubt, just like anyone else. The difference is that he actively trains his brain to detach from those emotions. Djokovic treats his mental toughness with the exact same discipline as his physical conditioning. He practices strict mindfulness for 15 minutes every single day. He doesn't try to silence his fears or block out the negative thoughts. Instead, he allows the anxiety to enter his mind, acknowledges it, and then instantly redirects his focus back to his physical task. He trains his attentional control so deeply that he simply does not allow fear to dictate his physical movements. As his career progressed, he stopped just absorbing the hate internally. He began to actively confront it. He realized that the crowd's desperation to see him lose was actually a subconscious sign of their fear. They knew he was going to beat their hero. So, he leaned into the role of the antagonist. He willingly became the ultimate final boss of the sport. At Wimbledon, when crowds tried to mask their boos by stretching out his opponent's name, Djokovic didn't play along with the media's polite excuses. He stepped up to the post-match microphone, looked directly into the stands, and told them exactly what he saw. He told them, "I've been on the tour for more than 20 years. Trust me, I know all the tricks. You guys can't touch me." He established total psychological dominance on live television. He let them know that their attempts at mental warfare were utterly useless against a master. Former players and commentators have noted a bizarre paradox in his game. Complimenting Djokovic is actually the worst strategy you can use. If an opponent is overly nice, or if the crowd suddenly gives him a standing ovation, he sometimes loses his edge. He relaxes. He needs the friction. He needs the disrespect to activate his ultimate competitive state. Federer and Nadal built their empires on love, admiration, and grace. Djokovic built his on isolation, defiance, and extreme resilience. He accepted the role of the villain that nobody wanted, and he used that absolute isolation to surpass them both. Novak Djokovic proved that you don't need the world to love you to conquer it. You don't need a stadium cheering your name to be great. If you can control your own internal perception, you can control your external reality. By mastering the villain effect and dedicating his life to ruthless mental discipline, he ensured that no matter how loud the crowd screams for his downfall, the only voice he ever truly hears is his own. He is the living proof that sometimes the greatest motivation in the world doesn't come from the people who want to see you win. It comes from the thousands of people who desperately want to see you fail.